Oh, hey! Oh, goodness, you caught me. Never mind. All right, so it is Star De Azlan week here on the Boston Chris podcast. That's right, and I have some homework for y'all that have coming in to see a phenomenal story from a talented young lady from Martindale, Texas, Miss Star De Azlan. I need you guys to hit that like button out there. Please go ahead and do that. And if you want to see more in-depth, candid conversations like this one here, you can hit that subscribe button or follow for free. And make sure you share this episode everywhere you can, even at the local grocery store. Do it. I dare you. Video it. Send it to me. It'll be fun. And of course, I need you guys also to comment down below wherever you are watching from or your favorite part of this episode. But without any further ado, let me tell you a little bit about our guest today. Ms. Star De Azlan is ready to make waves and is carving out her path in the vibrant world of country music. She is thrilled to unveil her debut single, Adios Cowboy. Growing up in Martindale, Texas, in a humble 900-square-foot shack with 8 other family members, Star was surrounded by the timeless sounds of country legends like Hank Williams, Patsy Cline, and Loretta Lynn, who inspired her from a young age. Her musical journey began with playing the violin in mariachi bands and later led to her first performance at the iconic Cheatham Street Warehouse at just 13 years old. It was here that she sang tunes like You're Cheating Hard and Crazy, alongside George Strait's Ace and the whole band every single Monday night. And at 15, Star bought her first guitar and wrote her first songs, and the rest is history. And that history is something we are going to talk about here on this episode of the Boston Chris podcast. So without any further ado, let's get into it with the beautiful and talented young lady, Miss Star De Azlan.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey guys, this is Clint Alford. Thank you guys so much for watching the Boston Chris Show.
All right, guys, it's Star De Azlan week, and or Star from the Aztec, right? Is that what it means?
It does. De Azlan from the Aztec land. That is literally.
Yeah. So I do my research.
Yeah, you do.
Man, I've been a fan of yours for a while. And I'm going to tell you why. Back in the day, I used to get the promo singles from the record labels, and so I remember She's Pretty from those promos. Yeah.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, so that's the first time I heard of your name and stuff, and then when I saw that you released a Texas single, I was like, it has to be the same artist. Like it's such a unique name, right? It can't be two different artists. So when I found out you were working with Jennifer, I was like, oh my gosh, like we have to make this happen. So I'm so happy it did. Yeah, let's talk about that new single. Actually, it's in the top 60 now, or almost top 60 in Texas. It's called Adios Cowboy, which is so uniquely you, and I love it. Tell us about the single and how it came to be.
Yeah, well, first of all, very cool that I guess we go back.
Yeah, sure.
So no, thanks for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I've been watching some of your other interviews and stuff, and you're very good at what you do.
Thank
so
you.
Appreciate you having me on. But no, Adios Cowboy is a song that I started writing a couple years ago and finished up like last year, and it's just a song about a woman who is feeling like she's kind of taking the back seat in her relationship, and it's kind of about that and her feels, and we all kind of go through relationship issues. And so when I wrote this, I was thinking, I was in actually my mom's backyard, which is like this beautiful like golden wheat grass field, right, where the sun sets beautifully. There's like cows and horses. It's just like so pretty back there. And so I love that like Texas imagery too. So I was really inspired by all of that while I was writing the emotional part of the song, which is like, hey, you're a cowboy that's doing me wrong, and I'm feeling a certain way, and it's kind of time to say goodbye. Maybe maybe forever, maybe just until I get my thoughts together. Who knows? It could be how you want to make it. But in writing that song, that's kind of the inspiration behind it. It was for that kind of emotional release. And at the same time, I wanted to include some of my Texas culture in there and talking about like the sunsets and the rodeos and things like that.
And when I say uniquely you, what I mean by that is just like the kind of the crossroads of a diversification of cultures, right? Like your
Right.
country music side, your Tejano side, like you got the different elements from that kind of made you stand out to me originally back in the day, right? Like the steel guitar, the horns, like just bringing those together is so uniquely you. That's what I meant by that, and I'm excited to kind of show people the single. I want you guys to go check it out. It's Adios Cowboy, and you guys don't know how big of an impact you can be just by calling your radio stations and requesting these
Yeah.
songs, because if they don't have the song in rotation already, if you call for it, you are forcing them to put it on their playlist just by doing that. Trust me, I've seen radio stations that didn't have a song and you call in and request it, and now they have the song. And if they have it in their rotation, then they're more likely to play it if they don't, right? Makes sense. So y'all do
Yeah.
that. Man, you are so unique, and your story is awesome. And there's parts of your story that's missing too. So I'm curious to try to flesh that out with you. And but you grew up in Martindale, Texas, is that right?
Yes, I'm from a really tiny town of Martindale, Texas. I think it's grown to like a little over 1,000 people now. But it's just a small, like, corn and cotton town, and hardworking, blue collar, working people.
So what's it like growing up in that area? And also, like, how was music finding you as a kid? Because you started out really early.
I did. So music found me at a really young age. Well, growing up, like in my household, they always had the music blaring, and
Sure.
all dancing and dressing up as our favorite you know icons at the time. I had older sisters, so they would dress me up. Then I had a little sister, so I'd dress her up. We'd have fun with it and just dance around the house. But when it really started was, I would say, at 7 years old, my grandfather paid for some violin lessons for me. So my parents would take me to play violin, and I learned how to have an instrument in my hand and kind of have that discipline of learning and appreciating notes, and um, you know reading something that was so foreign to me,
Wow.
on wasn't English, but it was another language, which was music. And so I think that at a young age was instilled in me. So I'm thankful for that. And then later on, I took a break. So I didn't play violin all those years until I got into middle school, and I joined the mariachi band. And it was like a new thing. I was kind of like one of the, I guess you could say, pioneers for it there in my town.
Absolutely.
And so I started playing violin and was singing in mariachi. At the same time, like in parallel with that, I had already begun writing poems and decided that I wanted to be a singer and a performer. And so at that time, I was already kind of like getting my songwriting bug as well.
So
And
this is all
then
happening at the same time for you.
this is all happening at the same time.
Wow.
So um, I, I mentioned to my dad at like 11 or 12 years old that I wanted to sing. And so he said, learn a couple of songs and we'll go to the closest local festival and we'll put you on stage. And that's exactly what happened. And so I sang a couple of songs on stage, got like a $2 tip. Rest was history. I knew I
Man.
wanted to. And so then at that time, he was really wanting to like kind of shape me as far as what I was listening to, and um, really introduced me to good, like, legendary, timeless music. So he would buy me like these Patsy Cline collection, CDs,
Yeah.
and yeah, he'd play Etta James and Aretha, Merle Haggard. My grandmother loved Hank Williams, so I had already listened to that. She loved Elvis, all the good stuff. Um, So I knew like good music, and I loved that, and I think that's kind of like, I feel like I'm an old soul
Yeah.
because of some of that. And so I already had a lot of that like ingrained in me throughout like my life. But then also I loved like the Texas culture, so I loved country music. Absolutely loved it. When I wrote songs, they came out country, but I also was singing mariachi music. So it was just like, I think it's just like what Texas is,
I'm
It's
so
like
envious of you because, like, I grew up with all of those old style music too, right? My parents were into Elvis and Hank and Lefty Frizzell and Marty Robbins and all those old cats, right? But like, you grew up also with this. So I was just saying that I was envious of you because, like, we grew up on the same style of music as far as country music goes and all that. But like, you have this cool culture of having the Mexican side of it too, the Tejano and the mariachi and all that. I didn't grow up with that, man. You like, I feel like you're so lucky to have both of that, right? And especially like, I hear your vibe now and how uniquely you it is. You talk about being a pioneer, you absolutely are.
oh, thank
Yeah, absolutely, and I think more so than just your small town as well. And we'll talk about that in a little while. But this was musically based for you first. You said that it was instrumental with the violin first, then you kind of wanted to do vocals and songwriting, but it was all based in music first, right? Learning an instrument.
Yeah, I think that's what drove me. I mean, I can't remember completely. I was like 7 years old, but
Sure.
I would imagine that had something to do with that. And then like in my later years, like 10, 11, 12, like I was writing poems. I was like, having breakups, and you know, boys were in my life at that time, and I was like, oh, so heartbroken and writing poems. So yeah, like I wanted to express myself, and that's how I did it. And my just like love for music just kind of was like took over, I guess.
Was this pretty
And so
serious for you right away? Because a lot of kid artists, kid musicians, it starts out as a hobby, and then when you find songwriting, it kind of becomes more serious, right? But you're finding all of this at the same time. So was this pretty serious early on? Do you think?
yeah, it was. When I decided that I wanted to sing, like I knew like I'm going to be on stage, I'm going to be performing, I'm
Yeah.
going to be entertaining a crowd, people are going to be hearing my music. Like I knew what I was getting into. And once I kind of got up there and sang for the first time, I kind of just like laser focused on that, and I was like, this is my this has now become my dream, and we're going to do something here,
Yeah.
So
So another thing I read about you, you grew up in a really big family, and a
I did.
large family, but also in a very small house. So
Yep.
it must have been tough. I was an only child, right? So I can't relate. But
Oh,
looking back at that time in your life, how do you think that kind of shaped your path?
well, the only child thing, I'm going to have to ask you about that later, because
Sure,
I have one little boy. He's the only child, and so I sometimes like I like to ask other only children
sure.
like how that felt, but we'll get back to that. But
Hmm.
or maybe like off camera, I'll have to ask you. But um, yeah, so I feel like growing up with a big family, like I don't know anything else, and we're definitely tight knit, like so close. I am like, my sisters are my best friends. My mom's my best friend. My dad's also my best friend. Like I have such, had such a blessed like family life. We're all always there for each other. We can like confide in each other, tell each other everything. We have tiffs, but never anything like so serious, So yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I've learned a lot, because I didn't only grow up with like my sisters and my mom and dad, but my grandparents too. And so I was able to get wisdom from like all generations, and which I feel really kept me like humble and grounded and kind. Like I love old people.
It's that old soul, right?
Yeah, I feel like connected. Like I can carry on a conversation with like an older person better than like, a
Hmm.
younger person. So it's just, or someone my age, right? So I don't know. I've always felt like that connection, and I think it's because like my grandfather, like I just was so in love with him. He when I was 11, he was probably like, I don't know, in his 80s. And when I was like 10, he was in his 80s. And he would like sing me to sleep. Like he was just like one of my favorite people. And so I have a really like soft spot in my heart for
Yeah.
that generation of
That
people, the
impacted
people.
your path. Yeah, that's big.
So to answer your question, I loved growing up in a house with a lot of people.
Yeah. And the way we grow up always impacts who we become, right? It just
Yeah.
does. That's the way it is. And so it's always
Yeah.
interesting from my standpoint of how somebody came to be where they ended up. It's just interesting to me, regardless of whether you're a singer or not, right, or an artist. But
Yeah.
I think the transition for you kind of at a young age, 13 years old, you're playing at Cheatham Street, which is just mind blowing to me as a fan because I know the impact of Cheatham Street just regionally, right on the state of Texas. And Kent Finlay, just God rest his soul, was just an amazing champion for original music in Texas. What is that kind of that season of your life doing for a 13-year-old star? Just playing at Cheatham and getting that experience, and especially with Kent being kind of you know how he was, just so vocal. And tell us about that season of your life.
Yeah. Well, first, of course, like, did you get to meet Kent? Did
I'd
you?
never met him. No.
He was, like you said, exactly like such a champion of music in general, but specifically songwriters and Texas country music and Texas country history. You know, he was a professor at the university there for Texas country history, Texas history, country music. So he just had a passion and a love for that. But since the beginning, he, like, the moment that he saw me sing, because him and my dad were friends before I started singing there. Um, and like when he saw me sing, he immediately like came up to my mom and dad and was like, there's something special here. Like, you guys need to do something about this. And anything that I can do to help, like, let me know. And he did have the honky tonk. He had Cheatham Street and invited me to come out and sing. He was like, I would love for you to come out and just take the stage. Like, I know you're just 13, you got to come with your folks, but there's a good opportunity for you to come out and kind of build your chops up, you know? And I think that's exactly what it did for me. It kind of rounded me as an artist. It gave me experience on stage, experience like in the real world of the industry. And it did help shape me artistically and as a songwriter. Like, I did get to work with Kent and write with him, and he kind of showed me a lot of the ins and outs of what being a good songwriter takes. And that's pretty much just writing from your heart and not letting anything get in the way of that, and not changing yourself for, you know, the next trend or whatever it may be, but just keeping true to who you are. And you know, Kent really really taught me some of that good wisdom. um, but also getting to play with some of the likes of members of the Ace in the Hole band and being around such amazing talent,
Yeah.
legend, and just rock stars, like, was so cool, especially at 13. Like, I didn't know the awesomeness that I was like involved in at the time, but like looking back now, I'm like, what? Like, wow, like, what a cool experience, right? And those guys are still like some of my good buds to this day, and it's because they're such good people. Like, you wouldn't know walking into Cheatham Street seeing Ace in the Hole band unless you knew they were Ace in the Hole band, because they are so freaking cool and down to earth dudes. So but yeah, I definitely cherish those times, and I look back on those times and I think, yeah. And so I feel, you know, just getting to be on stage with some of those guys is just, you know, not many people get to do that, especially that early in your career
How
and kind of
validating
just
was that to
starting.
you
So
at the time? Like at the time, you're trying to be a singer, so it's kind of new for you. All of a sudden, you're playing at Cheatham Street? Like, I mean, I know reflectively you're probably like, wow, but like at the time, how validating is that to you?
Oh, it was great. I mean, to me, like, I don't know if you've ever been in Cheatham Street, but it is like the most like humble little place. It's like this tin building with hardwood floors, spider webs on the neon signs, like, and it's like a true honky tonk. So going in there, like, first of all, the cool factor of it was awesome. Like, I felt so awesome just going on stage and being able to sing in a honky tonk and singing like real country music, like country to the core, like wasn't God who made honky tonk angels, your cheating heart, crazy. Those were the songs that I was up there doing with those guys, and but yeah, I think it really left a mark on me, um, forever.
Yeah, so
I think.
13 years old, you have all this experience with a mariachi band. Then you're
Mhm.
playing at Cheatham Street with the Ace in the Hole band. At
Mhm.
13, like, what is this, right? Like, this is just, like, looking back, this just has to give you goosebumps. It's giving me goosebumps just thinking about it, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm definitely thankful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking back, yeah, thinking my lucky stars for sure.
So around 2007, obviously, Mike Curb, who I guess I don't want to say discovered because you weren't discovered by Mike Curb. You were obviously an artist prior to that and an awesome one as well. Obviously, Kent Finlay took a liking, and that's enough for me. But so you do sign a record deal with Curb, and we talked about you being a pioneer earlier, and this is part of that for me as a fan. First Latina artist signed to a major label. I mean, this is a big deal. And, in researching you, one of the things I saw is like the VP of Curb at the time was talking about how um, there has never been a Latino star in country music, male or female. And that this was going to happen soon, and you were the one in all of this, and man, it makes me so mad because here we are, 18 years later, and it still hasn't happened. I mean, my wife and I were trying to think of just one, and like
Yeah.
it really pisses me off because it should be. I'm sorry, I'm taking this out on you, but like honestly, it shouldn't be about that, right? It shouldn't like talent shouldn't
Right.
be about how we look or whatever. But at the time, I feel like looking back at it as a fan, they were really trying to Tennessee eyes you, I guess, in a way, right? And so like they take you out of your element. You're in Nashville now. You sign this record deal, and things are going fast for you now. What's the experience like then? Not looking back at it, but as you're living it.
Yeah. Well, at the time, I considered the first female Latina to be signed to a major country record label in Nashville.
Right.
And, there was Freddie Fender and there was Johnny Rodriguez, before me, who, you know, opened some doors, I think, for the Latin people to have some sort of a platform in country music. And they were, I mean, they were cool. Like, they played with some of the greats. They were right there with Willie and
Hmm.
Waylon and all of them. So I love those guys. But
You had guys like Raul
yeah,
Malo with the Mavericks as well, Rick Trevino.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. So there's been a good amount of guys that
sure.
have, and as far as being there at that time in Nashville on the label, I mean, that was one of my goals. I was like, I'm going to be signed to a major country record label. Like, that's my goal. And so when it happened, of course, like, I was on cloud nine, and yeah, and they were great. I mean, Mike Curb came out of retirement and let me
And that says a
record.
lot, to be fair. It truly does, right?
It really does, and he
Yeah.
was, such a nice guy. He really was a fan, obviously, of me and my music, and he, let me release a couple of original songs that I had written. She's Pretty Like a Rose,
Hmm.
and so I had a really good fun experience there, like getting to know the label side of things. I had a whole team, so I wasn't really, and I was like, you know, pretty fresh and green in like the Nashville scene at that time. So I was just hungry, and yes to that, and yes to this, and yes to that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, and so I'm thankful that I got to show the world like some of my original music, and it was so dang country. And at that time, it was so dang country that it was a little too country for country radio at the time. Like
Yes.
if you remember at air, it that season, it was like 2007, 2009. It was like really kind of turning pop at that time. Taylor had also come onto the scene, and so we were I was coming in and I was really like way country. But I didn't want to change, you know. I didn't want to change just because that was like the new mold. So I just stayed true, and I tried to stay as true as I possibly could, while being signed.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, or after a couple singles, the label wanted to try different things, and then you know, I didn't really love the direction that it was going in. Several things happened. My manager passed away, and so I decided to reevaluate, kind of take a step back, and I didn't want to go down a path of getting like too lost
Sticking to
as
your
an
guns, so to
artist, you know.
speak, right?
Yeah, and so yeah, so that was that, and now I'm independent and can write and put out whatever the heck I want to put out and when I want to
Exactly
put
where
it
you
out.
need to be in Texas, right? Where independence shines, I think.
Yes, absolutely, man. And so, yeah, that I'm really proud of being from Texas and being a part of the culture down here that is like, man, some amazing things are happening in the hill country down New Braunfels way, San Antonio, and Austin area, in between all of that. And I'm right in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty lucky.
I just wanted to
Pretty
say,
lucky.
first of all, I'm not, I'm not angry at Curb, so to speak. I mean, they took a chance on you. They did let you, record original music, which is extremely unheard of for a new artist. Usually, they're just going to choose the songs for you. Yeah, so like I said, they took a chance on you. They let you record your own music, which is awesome. And like a Rose was a song that you wrote like early on too, like 14 years old or so, right? So
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah, like
just one last question about this kind of era of your life. You're kind of going through, this Nashville experience. You're still a young artist at the time, and you're saying yes a lot. How difficult is it for you to look around and like? I mean, there's nobody else that looks like you on the scene, right? Like you're kind of the only one. So tell us about the struggles, if any, of that in your life.
yeah. You know, I've it's always been that way
Sure.
for me in the music scene. I was used to it, I guess, so it wasn't anything new. And I don't mind it. Uh, you know, I don't take it in a way, I guess. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel like music is the one thing that brings unity to all communities and, all people in walks of life. And so for me, music doesn't have those boundaries, and it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. That's right. Yeah.
And so like when I think about it, if I think about it, that's the way that I try to look at things, is like, but it's a good song. Doesn't matter who's singing
That's
it.
right. And most of the
Um,
world, when we hear a good song on the radio, none of us are thinking about what the person looks like or who they love or where they came from, right? None of us care about that. There are some who do, unfortunately. But most of us music lovers are just like, wow, that's a great song. And who cares what the artist looks like or whatever.
yeah.
It just, I had a duo on the show recently. Their name's Honeyfire, and they're multi-race. They're African American and Hispanic, and they're country
Uh,
music. And
yeah.
the mother, it's a mother daughter duo, and the mother's mother was in the Ikettes, Ike Turner's backing group back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when they were trying to get into country music, it was difficult because there's nobody in country music that looks exactly like them, right? So it's like a lot of young people won't even try because of that, right? Like, there's no chance for me because I can't name or look up to an artist that looks like me, and that saddens me, man. Like, it hurts my heart, you know. It shouldn't be like that, so it hurts. But I'd like to hear about kind of your songwriting and essentially still writing. Well, first of all, let me ask you this: after you kind of left the Nashville arena, there's been kind of a hiatus between releases. What was that? The reason for that, and how are you being creative during that hiatus, if one existed?
Yeah. So there was a time where I was like tied up in contracts, so I wasn't able to really um, release anything, publicly and do any of that because I was like in the middle of contracts. But um, as far as keeping my creative juices flowing, I and the hiatus that you're talking about, I did have a family, so I had my
I
little
figured
boy,
that's what it
which
was. That's usually how it
yeah,
happens. Yep.
yeah. So I had my little boy. I am married. I've been married for like a while, quite a while, and my little boy's 8 years old. So I spent a lot of time doing like trying to be the best mom that I could be and spend as much time and really just cherish every moment of that, like the little years. Um, and I knew that I would always, I never stopped like creating, and I never stopped like music never left my life by any means. It was always there somehow, whether I was playing, shows here or there when I had time, like in between motherhood and things like that. And, but yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother inspiration now, like in this season of my life,
Mm.
for
Living for
for
somebody
writing.
else, right?
Say it again.
Living for somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely teaches you how to be selfless and extremely understanding and patient, um, which is totally fine because man, those kids deserve so much more than that anyway, you know. But yeah, so I took some time to be a mama, and I don't regret it.
Good.
Yeah.
How much of that, taking that time and then coming back, honestly, like the coming back of that, how much of that is teaching your child that it's okay to chase your dreams, no matter how late or early it may be? Because I find you to be unique because you started. So I was saying I find you to be unique because you did start off so early as essentially a kid artist, and now many people would say in the industry, I'm not one of them, but many people would say, upper 30s is too late, right? So how much of your coming back is kind of teaching your son that it's okay to chase your dreams, no matter what they say?
Yeah. I think that to the age thing, I think that used to be like a big thing, like,
Yeah.
oh, your youth is, you're done. Essentially right after a
Well, the
certain age.
business,
But I
the
think that's
industry
like
would say
out
that
the window.
before, right? The industry
The
would say
industry
that.
would say that before.
Yeah, now it's the
Yes, you're so
people on
right.
the internet are saying that shit now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I think it's a thing past, and I think it's just like grumpy people
sure.
essentially that want to say that,
I
but
love
I
it.
don't think it matters. I think it's just like if you're talented, then go for it.
Mhm.
We all have a platform for that. It doesn't matter how old we are or whatever our situation might be. But yes, for my son, he definitely sees me like he's only ever seen like mom,
Mom.
right?
Yep.
So this is new for him as of late, and he's like asks a lot of questions, which is great because like you said, like that is an opportunity for me to kind of like teach him things.
Yes.
And when he's like, do you have to go, like he actually went out on the road with me a few weeks ago and like got to miss school for a whole week, and he loved it because he was like, it was vacation slash work for me but kind of vacation for him. So he's starting to kind of learn the life on the road aspect of things and kind of getting to see a little bit more of what I do. But yeah, definitely, like he asks, like, Mom, how many followers do you have now? Like, how many subscribers do you have now? So he's like so curious of that, because he's like a big gamer too, and so he he's always like, when he's on YouTube, like looking up how to like play a certain game, like the people that he watches have like 10 million followers, you
Yeah.
know, like these big gamers. So he's like, how many followers do you have now, Mom? So he's always interested in that. And then the other day we were at Chick-fil-A, so funny, and we were through the drive-through, and you know how they ask for your name when
Hmm.
you're ordering?
Yep.
And so I give him my name, and we kind of drive off, and he's like, why didn't they ask for your autograph? I mean, don't they know who you are?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So like so cute. And I definitely let him know, like, hey, this is, you know, you have to work hard for what you want. Like it all just doesn't come to you on a silver platter. Like you have to get out there and you have to work for what you want, and you have to work really hard. You want to Do you want to build games? Like, which he tells me, I'm like, if you want to build games, you've got to do the research and you got to learn how to do it. You know, if I want to write a hit song, like I've got to keep trucking. I've got to keep going. Like I can't stop, you know? So there's a lesson in every little
Yeah.
aspect of our lives, I feel like. And I try to seize opportunity every chance I get.
Yeah. That's the perfect segue to where you are for this interview, sitting in your car in between radio interviews,
Yeah.
literally out there on the road hustling, right, trying to get that hit song. And man,
Yeah.
it's so serendipitous, just your location right now for the interview. I mean, it's so funny. But yeah, our
Yeah.
kids can change our reasons for things, right? Like just the reason why we do things changes so quickly, and you don't even realize it happened, right, until it does, and then you're like,
Right.
wow, and man, what a reason to do it. And I commend you for taking time to be a mom, first and foremost, because obviously
Thank
that's the
you.
biggest job we're ever going to have, right? Being a parent.
That's the biggest job, man. I give so much props to my mom because she had four girls, and I only have one, and it is a job. You know, it's a beautiful, wonderful, rewarding job, but it is tough at times, and it's especially tough when you have to be away from your little one, and like being on the road, you know, like this, and when they're asking you, you know, do you have to go? I'm
Hmm.
gonna miss you. Like those are such like tender moments where you're like, gosh, I just want to stay home, or you know, but you can't.
Yep.
You got to keep working. You got to keep doing it. And I think that that is also, like you said earlier, like that's a lesson for them, like
So,
that sacrifice.
what was the decision to release more music? Because again, like I said, it's been I think it's been like 13 years between releases. And here we are in 2025. The brand new single, as we talked about earlier, is called Adios Cowboy. But you released new music. What was the genesis for that?
So, like I said, music has never left my soul, my being. It's always been a part of me. And the decision was that I had music. I have a lot of music, and I have things that I want to share with the world, and it's just who I am. I can't help it, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and I think that it was just time. Like I think like my little boy being older too, like was the big decision, and like, okay, now we can do this. Like now we can step away a little bit and give a little more time to my music. So that was definitely a huge factor. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have stuff I want you guys to hear that I think is worth hearing, and hopefully you guys will, you know, love the stuff that I put out now and in the future. And yep, I'm back and ready to rock and roll.
I love it. And you choose Texas, which is the obvious choice. It's your home, it's where you're
Yeah.
from. Culturally, it's who you are. Musically, it's who you are. So it's a perfect fit. How has Texas accepted you now, now that you are back as an artist, releasing new music Obviously, you're on the road. You're probably performing all over the place. You're doing radio tours. You got to meet Buzz Russell today, who's freaking amazing, by the way. So, how's everybody accepting Star?
It's been great. I mean, all the feedback that I've been getting from the stations and just people that have been hearing the music has been awesome. Um, and I always ask them, I'm like, give me your feedback. Like, I want the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like,
Yeah.
tell me everything I want to know. I've got, and I mean, at this point, and a little constructive criticism never hurt anyone, and so I'm all for that. But yeah, I mean, the feedback's been great. They really have been accepting me. Pauline Reese has been so sweet.
Man, I love
Another
Pauline.
friend of mine. Yeah, isn't she great?
Yeah.
And she's invited me to some stuff with her lately, and so we've been, buds. And one of my friends, Bridget London, she did the A- A- Outlaws and Angels in Lukenbach earlier this year. Did you
Okay.
hear of that
I
event?
haven't. No.
Lukenbach puts on like some of the best events, and she had me out there for that. And she's also an amazing like singer and songwriter. But Texas has been great. It's my home. I it's who I am. Like you said, it's a part of me through and through, and so I am really proud of that. And I'm happy that they've been accepting what I have to offer.
I'm glad you're here because, like, honestly, your sound is needed. It's perfect for Texas radio. It's perfect for the stages around Texas, as I'm sure you know. Like, people just love your. I personally love your sound, but I think people will love it too. Just that blending that I was talking about earlier, that just makes you awesome. Talk a little bit about your writing and how that's matured as you've grown older. Like, you started so young, 13, 14 years old. Even had a charting single that you wrote at 14, like a rose. So that's kind of a really good baseline to start at. But how have you matured as a writer over the years?
Well, from the beginning, I don't know how I was writing such like deep songs
Yeah.
anyway, but I feel like as a writer, as far as maturing, um, getting in the room with someone who is like a really well, like a veteran writer is so cool. Like those are the moments that I really like, or one of the moments that I like. That getting in there and them kind of seeing how they work and how like their mind wraps around a song and how they kind of cultivate ideas and so just kind of soaking it all in.
Mhm.
Like now in this time of my life where I can like kind of like pause, like my life isn't so like my mind and everything isn't like so fast, but I can like sit down and really appreciate like what a songwriter and their advice and like what they bring to the table. And that's like in a co-write, which I don't do very often, by the way.
Okay.
It's very rare, but when I do, like I really appreciate it. And then like sitting in the room by myself and just knowing like, okay, crafting a song is so like unique. Like not many people can do this, right? But at the same time, like when I like what has changed now is that I have to like set aside time to write. Whereas before, like any time of day, like just sit down, write whenever I wanted on my own time. Well, I have like I'm like adulting now. And so I have to like set time aside and really like craft a song. Like, okay, I have 2 or 3 hours. And it's not always like that, but this is just kind of something like that has evolved. Like since you're asking, like this is kind of like where I'm at sometimes is like I only have like 2 or 3 hours to really focus on my writing. And so I have to like I realize like, okay, it's not just like lollygagging and seeing what comes up all the time. Like sometimes you have to like sit down and actually step by step, like methodically write out this song. And you have to do it that way because like you're on a time limit. So that's kind of like something that has changed a little bit is like I don't have that much time anymore because like I'm a mommy and a wife and you know, all these other things. So yeah.
So, less spontaneous in a way. Do you think that's changed how, like, the sound? Has it changed anything from that standpoint, do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think so because I'm like really picky. So
Yeah.
in particular, and like hard on myself and a perfectionist when it comes to all of that. So if I don't like it, like a lot of songwriters will be like, keep everything. But like if I don't like it, I don't like it, and I'll just have to move on to the next. Because I am like really picky. Like it has to be. I have to want to hear it myself.
So
On
I
the
mean,
radio.
the way you create it has changed, but the way that you kind of the quality check of it has
What
not. Yeah,
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 there you go.
yeah. I understand that. I love the fact that you're working on a record for the first time, which is coming up soon. And I read about you that this is your first time in production, actually helping produce. So what's that look like for you on that side of the creative table?
Okay, it is so totally different than just like going in and singing your song, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're orchestrating every single instrument, um, every little nuance, in the song. You're in charge of like, well, I guess it's the same like with the band when you're at band practice or whatever, but except it's your record, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like a little bit different,
It's
a little more
final.
pressure.
It's final. Yeah.
Exactly. So, no, it was really really a cool thing. David Beck, he actually he lives in Martindale too. Well, he has a house there in his little studio in Martindale, but he co-produced Adios Cowboy with me, and he was really awesome to work with. And he kind of helped me along the way, like understand the ins and outs of it, and I felt really comfortable like working alongside of him. But it's something that I had never done, so I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy that I got to co-produce Adios Cowboy and really be involved in that process. Because again, like being on a label and then being independent, I'm glad I know now like both sides and what it's like. I know what I'm like not missing per se on a label, and then I know like how awesome it is to be independent, but also how much more work it is as well,
Yeah.
because you have to organize everything on your own unless you're like paying to hire a team to do that for you on the side, but if you're not, I mean, you're doing everything yourself, which is kind of crazy because I got to say, like, independent artists are really, really hard working people.
Absolutely. And you get all the
So
blame
props
and
to-
all the credit, right? So it's both sides.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
blame anybody else.
No, you're it.
Yep.
You're it.
So that freedom is a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is, but it's so worth it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is too. I'm so excited to have you here for the first time on the show. Hopefully not the last. And we have a bunch of fun segments we're going to go through with Star, and I think you'll enjoy these. These are always a lot of fun. If you've seen some episodes in the past, you might have seen some of these. But some of these I'm going to let you choose as well, which is fun. Now, the first one, I'm going to let you choose either Did You Know or Algorithm. Those are the titles of the segments. Which one do you want to do?
Did you know, or algorithm?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know?
All right, so what's something that
Sounds
people
easy.
may not know about you?
Oh, I love to bake.
She's like, like that's embarrassing or something. That's not embarrassing at all.
Something people don't know is I do love to bake. I love like cooking and stuff is my love language, one of my love language. So I like love serving people.
Okay.
So like if you were ever a guest in my home, like you would get like the ultimate treatment, and I would like serve you like the most delicious food, and like yes.
Awesome stuff. All right, next segment is called Impactful. Can you tell us 3 people that impacted your life in some way, and then tell us the number one thing you learned from each of them?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, Jesus. So God is a huge part of who I am in my life, and from a very young age, like I have felt the Holy Spirit um, just lead me in different areas and ways that when I needed somebody. Um, so I think like Jesus Christ is one of the people that has impacted me so much, has influenced me every day. I try to be as close to him as possible, as in the way that I treat people and the things that I think. Um, and yeah, so I would say that's the first person. Second are my mom and dad, and they're going to count as one person.
Okay. Loophole time.
My mom and dad, because they're my mom and dad, and we have such a good relationship, and they have been there like supporting me this entire time through anything that I've wanted to do since I was obviously 7 years old, playing a violin at 7. Can you imagine, like a little 7-year old, like
I can't.
like, it doesn't sound good, okay? So like bless them, okay?
Yes.
But they have no, they have really taught me to just be a good person and just appreciate the people in your life, and don't take anything for granted. All of that good stuff. So I definitely would have to say mom and dad, of course. And then lastly, I'm gonna say my my husband and little boy, and they count as one person too. Um, because they just do. So my husband and my little boy, my family, like um, being able to uh, like grow with them. And first of all, husband and little boy, they both teach you patience
Mm-hmm.
like crazy, and then they both teach you how to love on a whole nother like level. Um, a love for your child is totally different than a love for anybody else. Like it's just beyond. Um, so yeah, I think like being married and have a kid has just like matured me in so many ways, and has also made me just a better person in general.
Good stuff.
I don't know if those were what you're looking for, but that's what I got.
No, that's great.
And
Great stuff. All right. So next segment, choose from one of these two. Either choose Mount Rushmore or choose one artist. Which one would you like to do?
Mount Rushmore or one artist? Ooh, Mount Rushmore.
All right. So who is on your Mount Rushmore of most influential artists to you? The top 4 artists that influence you the most.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna. Okay, so on my Mount Rushmore, it's for sure Willie, Emmy Lou.
Ooh.
You like her?
Oh man.
Willie Nelson, Emmy Lou. Um, I have to put Patsy Cline on there because she was like my first real love. And you said in music?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So Willie Nelson, Emmy Lou, Patsy Cline, and Merle Haggard or Linda Ronstadt.
So you got a 4.5. All right. So what we'll do is we'll put like half of Merle's face next to half of Linda's face. That'll be
Yeah, I love that.
awkward, but it might be fun. I love you put Emmy Lou up there. She doesn't get enough love at all, and she deserves more. But anyway, next segment's called What the Heck. This is a game show style segment where I'm going to give you 5 questions, and just tell me the first thing you think of. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Number 1. So you can have a horse-sized animal. So you can create any animal in the world, either shrink them down to the size of a horse or blow them up to the size of a horse. And you're bringing this animal into battle. So what animal are you using and why?
Oh, they're going to be fighting for me?
So you'll be riding this animal into battle.
Oh, okay. It's going to be a lion.
Okay.
Lion. Because I feel like they are fierce and I'm terrified of them. They're also beautiful and majestic, and I think that they could kick some butt. And yep.
Awesome. So that's the first time I've ever asked that question on this show, just so you know. You're the first
Really?
one to ever answer that question. All right, where do you think squirrels go during hurricanes?
Oh no.
The empath.
Terrible thought.
They have to go somewhere, Star. Where do they go?
No. I hope they don't go in their like little holes and then drown. I feel like okay. The squirrel police come and save them.
The squirrel police. All right, then. All right, number 3. Oh, man. Okay, I have to ask it. So when dating someone new, you've been married a long time, so this is going to be an other perspective kind of answer, okay? So when dating
Okay.
someone new, what do you think is the appropriate amount of time to wait before pooping in front of them?
Ooh. Okay, just my mom is here and she's dying. Cracking up.
Don't dodge the question, Star.
Oh, okay. What was it? One more
So
time.
what's the appropriate amount of time before you start pooping in front of somebody you just started dating?
Okay, I would say a year.
A year. Okay. All right. Is there going to be
I
like
don't know.
I mean, it depends on the connection, right? I would think it would depend on the person, you know? I mean, some
Yeah,
people
I
I
guess
could
that's
see like just not even ever doing it, even when you're married, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess not.
That would be tough, though,
Yeah.
to be fair. Like, your bowels would not enjoy you.
Yeah, I actually know somebody who has never, and they've been married for a really long time.
Yeah. That's just weird, right?
Yeah,
All right. Number 4.
that's a weird question.
I told you, it's called What the Heck. What do you think cats dream about?
Cats dream about sitting on a throne and having everybody serve them, because that's exactly what my cat does.
Absolutely. Yep. So it's more like a domination thing, right? Just dreaming of world domination.
Yes, I do not have like a cuddly cat.
Yeah.
I have a very prissy little, she'll do whatever she wants to do cat.
We have 2 cats. One is the lovey-dovey, get in your face, smooth-brained cat, right? And then the other one is run from everybody, even though he's lived here for 15 years kind of cat, right? No idea why. It's like,
So,
we live here, bro. What are you afraid of? Like, stop.
like, they're scared of you, or do they run from you too?
Everybody, yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been traumatized or something when they were younger. All our animals are rescues, so who knows what they went through, you know what I
Aw.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last
Absolutely,
question
for
of
sure.
what the heck. So you're alive in 1920s America, okay? So put yourself there. You run into a time traveler with a cell phone, and a Nickelback ringtone comes on. What's your reaction?
My reaction is, what is that? Can I see it? How does it work? What is that? I don't know. I would just ask a lot of questions, I feel like.
You wouldn't be worried about the Nickelback part of it? You'd just be like, holy crap, what is that device you have there? I so want to poop in front of you. No. All right, that was What the Heck with Star De Azlan. Oh my gosh. See, now you know why a lot of people hear What the Heck and it doesn't dawn on them until maybe the 3rd or 4th question why it's called What the Heck.
Yes.
Oh
totally-
my gosh. So I picked
love that.
I
Great.
picked the numbers before we start. And so whatever they are, I have to ask them. So like even if you don't think the question is gonna hit, I still have to ask it. It's so funny. Anyway, next segment, choose either bucket list or fly on the wall.
Fly on the wall.
Okay, so out of all of history, what is a room you would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in?
Gosh. All of history. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when, oh man, there's just so many great moments in history. Like, how can I choose? But it would have to be like Jesus times, right? So, like, maybe when Jesus was like telling his apostles like who he was and like explaining that to them. I feel like that would be an epic moment just to see like everybody's reactions, um, what exactly like he told them. I don't know, I keep referring back to Jesus,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like that's amazing. Like, because I mean we have the Bible, but to be like back in the day and like
Witness it
to
firsthand.
see that,
Yeah.
God, that would be so cool.
Yeah, it would be. All right, next one. Choose either biggest lesson or moment of gravity. Which one would you like to do?
Moment of gravity.
Okay, so moment of gravity is kind of we can look back at our lives and see that event that happened that kind of led us on the path that got us to where we are today. Can you kind of see what that moment
Yeah.
was for you?
Yeah, I would say that it was the first time that as far as like my career, my music career, which is like my life. So, yeah, it would be the first time that I ever got on stage and sang a song in public. I just, I did it.
$2
I
tip.
don't know how I did it. Yeah, the $2 tip. That's where it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when it happens, right? When you realize, holy crap, I love doing this, and somebody gives me money for doing it. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Exactly.
stuff. All right, I got two more. First one, grateful is the name of this one. What are three things you're the most grateful for in life?
I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. And I am grateful for being able to create as an artist, being able to create music, songwriting, writing down what I want to say and making it into a song. Like, I'm so grateful that I not only have the opportunity to do that, but like that I'm just able to,
Yeah.
you know.
Love it. All right, last segment could be the hardest one for you to answer, though. It sometimes is. The segment is called "Who Do You Think You Are?" Who is Star De Azlan?
Star De Azlan is a Star De Azlan is a like, are we going deep on this? Are we gonna go like
So I
surface?
ask the questions, and then you decide where they go.
I'm not allowed to ask questions.
You can ask questions if you want.
I'm the one interviewed here. No.
See, this is called deflection, everybody.
I'm stalling.
Yes.
I don't want y'all to know who I am. I can't like give that away who I really am. No, I think I am a simple, big-hearted, family-oriented, country Texas girl.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Star De Azlan on the Boston Chris podcast for the first time ever. I'm going to tell you guys where you can follow along with Star, and her team have made this very, very easy for y'all. All right, so a lot of times y'all come to these episodes, and these social medias might have 4 or 5 different tags on them just because they're hard to get uniform. Well, Star has all her social media at Star De Azlan. Super simple. Wherever you go, that's where you're going to find her. The website is also exactly the same, stardeazlan.com. We're going to put a link in the description below for that. It looks like the 4 most used social medias for Star are Instagram, Threads, which is part of Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, or it look like the 4 that you use the most. So you guys make sure you follow along on your favorite platform. And make sure you're requesting Adios Cowboy. Like we said earlier, let's get that sucker up there, at least top 10, right?
Yes, let's do it.
And you got lots of music on the way, too, don't you?
I do. Yeah. No, I appreciate you having me on and supporting Adios Cowboy and your kind words and really liking it and promoting it here on your platform and giving it a chance to shine. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a lot of songs in the works and I've got more music to come. A lot of cool stuff happening. And so I can't wait for you guys to hear it and to let me know what you think about it. But definitely go and check everything out and add audios to your playlist. You got to add audios to your playlist and give it some spins.
And I'm so absolutely excited that you're back, and
Yep.
I'm glad that you are happy, and I'm proud of you for getting through it all. Right?
Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
Yeah.
That really does. And yeah, so I'll make you proud, I hope.
Of course.
And yeah, and I'll just keep on trucking, and we'll keep checking in with each other. And,
Absolutely.
it was fun to be on your show. I really enjoyed all your questions and even the poop question. I mean,
All right.
Hey, everybody, this is Wade Jennings, and thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.